And a good Friday evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of NTZ Pro Wrestling Live. Woo! A-Train back at it again. What a night. Unfortunately for myself, I only saw the first half. And maybe the second half, and maybe that's all I needed to see on SmackDown tonight. But before I get to that, this show is brought to you by the Cafe. Brought to you through the Cafe Piazza Studios. Make sure you go and stop by over at Cafe Piazza in St. Louis at 1900 Arsenal Street at the corner of Arsenal and Limp. Joining me as always on the program, he is ready to go. And we kind of spoke before the show, but I want to see how well he's feeling now as I bring him on. Is my co-host for this program. We entertain you every Friday night, and glad to have him once again, Mr. P.O.P. himself. Good evening, sir.
Well, golly.
God dog it.
God dog it.
God dog it.
Sugar me temples.
Oh,
man. Sir?
You know, after what just happened, what capped off the night on SmackDown, I was impressed by its ending.
Okay.
And what took place,
Uh-huh.
I didn't expect it to go so well, but it exceeded my expectations.
As always.
It did. It really exceeded my expectations. Didn't expect it to go the way that it did, but I'm glad that it went the way that it did. What you think?
It was okay. It was okay. I feel like both of them had some very good, satisfying points. And even though one stung more than the other.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You know, I know a lot of people is, feeling Seth Rollins got the edge up. Because he pointed out, the Shield and the chair shots and, the victories between the two. But honestly, I still feel like, if I wanted a megastar, you wouldn't have been the first choice, nor the first choice in the household. I said, we know where this is going. I'd have chose your wife, which, by the way, I have to say she is the mega star. For those folk that may have forgot, this was around the same time period when everybody was CM Punk. Y'all remember when y'all were doing that? Because, he showed up on that WCW while I was going Becky Lynch, and then all of a sudden, she won the belt in 4 seconds, 6 seconds. Anyway, yeah, that chick, same one, big time, not showtime or sleep time, but big time, Becky Lynch. That hurt it, yo. That kind of stung a little bit. Self know that hurt it. Self know that hurt it. Because he know it's true that his wife is a bigger star than him. That hurt. Whew. Mm.
Yeah, that is rough, man. But I was liking the burns that he had on Seth Burns on Roman's failed CFL career. Shout out to those that cover the CFL. I was like, man, I wasn't that's something that you don't expect. Is somebody talking about your failed football career, judging like another person who had a failed football career, but now he owns a football league of his own, and that's his cousin, The Rock. Now, I was looking forward to Roman mentioning The Rock, saying if he wanted to face a megastar, but going after his wife was the burn to take.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So.
Yeah.
That was compelling. That was compelling. Folks, we are on Facebook right now at NTZ Pro Wrestling. You can check us out on In the Zone Network on both If you're on Facebook, you can check us there. Or if you're on YouTube, you're like, I ain't got Facebook, you can check us out on YouTube right now at the In the Zone Network YouTube channel. All right. But that was something, I guess we're not getting a lot of wrestling. I know that's why a lot of people will prefer AEW over WWE right now. The problem is AEW doesn't have it's a lot of storylines compared to WWE because of everybody they keep bringing in. But with that said, I'm liking the stories that, kind of mixed in a bit from WWE. As a matter of fact, Lita showing up tonight. All right, Lita showing up, showing that she's entering the Royal Rumble because she didn't get a chance to do it the first time out. Get it? I understand. Cool. Well, it's fine. But then who pops out? The queen herself, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
She pops out and makes her presence known and says that I'm going to beat you and I'm going to throw you over the top rope myself. I thought for a minute Lita was going to say, I'm going to enter into the Royal Rumble match at number 1. Because remember, she referred to the 29 other women that she's going to face off in the ring. That lets me know that, which we all understand, it's 30 people that are in the Royal Rumble. But when you say you're going to defeat 29 other people, that let me know, or at least any heterosexual male or woman would know, or even homosexual man or woman will ask that question like, hey, that means you're going against 29 others.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're starting the match.
Like
you're
first
going off the jump.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly. So what am I missing here? Tell me, am I missing something at this point right now?
I mean, that was the words that was said.
Yeah, exactly. That's what was said, man. I'm sitting here like, come on. And I want to see you. I want to see what you can do. I want to see if they actually put a match together where, before get you like a little warm up, tune up of sorts. Because Charlotte talked trash about Trish Stratus. I watched you beat her at SummerSlam a couple years ago. So I'm sitting here now like maybe Lita gets a warm up.
Maybe.
Think that maybe.
All
right. And let's see. I got Will's jumping in from Marshall, Missouri tonight. So thanks, Will, for hopping in this evening with your comments are welcome. Anything that is considered good, we'll throw that on the deck. If not, keep trying. All right. So those were the two things I said. I missed the first half, and I guess I didn't really need to watch much.
It was okay. It was all right. Other
than Sheamus beating Ricochet to help out Ridge Holland and Madcap Moss beating Kofi Kingston.
Mm-hmm. And then it would be the Viking Raiders going up against the new. I'm going to say the New Day.
See, when you've had them for so long,
they're gone. So, but the Usos and the Viking Raiders, they had a fatal four-way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fatal four-way. Yeah.
Fine. You can take it as such.
Did you see Sami Zayn?
Oh, and Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah. See that?
Oh, yes. That's correct. Now, I did see that. We jumped in and said congrats to Aaliyah with the quickest victory with 3.17 seconds against Nat.
Oh, that was rough, too.
It was a WWE record, but not a world record. So big ups to Aaliyah. Glad to see her back in action. I'm starting to see that Naomi's starting to get a little bit of help from Adam Pearce. Just a little bit. And will we see a break between the two? Hopefully, I want to see it before WrestleMania because I don't think it's going to happen between now, and Royal and the Rumble. So, sometimes authority has to be shaken up too.
Just a little bit.
All right. Jamie Winstone saying we waited to watch the match live. Which match was that? Is that somebody I need to know about, sir? You don't
What?
know? Is that a
What?
friend of yours? Was that friend Jamie? No.
You never know nowadays. Hey, hey, they're coming
Hey,
miles and miles around.
I
Everybody wants to see this show.
see, everybody does, right?
Everybody wants to see this show. All right.
Yes, yeah, that is very true. I'm going to check something out right now, and is today the day where this has happened? Today is I guess an important day in wrestling history. It
Uh huh.
happened 21 years ago.
Uh huh.
I want you to take a look at this particular video. See if you remember this well. Okay, take a look at your monitor.
To come in now.
Sure.
Sid Vicious up on top.
Oh, that is
Look at the left foot.
That is so difficult to watch. We've seen it already.
Another angle.
Already so many times, and it's still just so.
Once again isolated. The foot. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember.
You remember seeing that?
Woo!
Sid Vicious turning
Yeah.
his leg like that.
Yeah. I remember that.
I'm sorry if I scared y'all and didn't give y'all heads up warning, but that did happen.
I think everybody that was a wrestling fan was always wondering why is Sid Vicious going to the top rope? Why is he going? Ah!
It's funny, but it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, but Sid Vicious has always got himself involved in some craziness.
So,
you know what I mean?
I remember that. Yeah.
That's some wild stuff, man. Hey, the date that's upcoming is January 29, 2022. St. Louis Royal Rumble is coming to the Dome at America Center. Now, what's funny is it's the exact same date from 10 years ago, because when the last time the Royal Rumble came to St. Louis, it was January 29th, but that was back in 2012. And there was only one Rumble at the time, and of course, that was the night Sheamus won the Rumble, and then he would go on to win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 28 in 30 seconds?
30 seconds
over Daniel Bryan. Yes, and we was just about ready to get into that about the Royal Rumble, the people that are in the Rumble that's coming up. Do you find it funny though, Dorian, that WWE has acknowledged Impact Wrestling on their shows?
I saw that. I actually thought I seen somewhere that it is official that WWE and Impact is a thing. I heard that it's a thing. I heard they got some relations.
Having some relations.
Heard there's relations. Matter of fact, not only that, but like William Regal got an offer to go to Impact not too long ago.
What the fuck, y'all?
Played that. Thank you. I did not ask for that. So someone's gonna come over. Someone's gonna come over the top, man. And no, I'm glad it did not happen. But yes, it is true that he didn't sign.
Okay.
He didn't sign.
But there's relations.
But he did have an offer given to him for Impact Wrestling. So there you see William Regal there.
Yeah. What an offer.
Yeah. You said what an offer? Don't you be coy, sir. Don't be too coy. Don't do that, okay? Let's get an understanding here, all right? Also, a question that's been asked, interesting question about, especially that we talked about Impact now having a quote-unquote relationship, is when Mickie James comes out at the Rumble, will she come out with the Knockouts title, or will she come out to the Hardcore Country theme song, or both? Yo, if she comes out with that Knockout Championship, I am laughing hard. Do you hear me? I'm laughing hard because It hasn't been done since what? Sunny dropped the women's championship in WCW back in the NWA era, because that's what I like calling that.
Uh-huh.
That was so. Am I losing my mind? If she come out with that Knockouts championship, man, I'm losing my mind, dude.
I think she's just gonna come out to that good old country song, and then that's gonna be it. And then I see what they're gonna do is right the wrongs, and she'll be in that fatal 5 at the end.
Why would they put her in a fatal 5 though, man?
To fix the wrongs.
What wrongs need to be fixed with that?
Did I memory served me? Matter of fact, I know I got one of them. I got something in this kitchen that should remind you of what happened. Give me 1 second. Where is that good old fashioned trash bag? I ain't seen it. It's somewhere. It's a bag.
You know,
it's same. It's the same healthy black bag with the straps. It's the same bag. You know the healthy bag.
I think you trying to take me out, sir. I think you trying to take me out.
Same black bag. I think it was red straps. Yeah, that one.
So had one of those hefty trash bags. You said, man, you real?
So they gotta right the wrongs. They ain't gonna let her win it, but she'll be in the air.
You think she'll be in the final 5, dude? Just for kicks.
Yeah.
Just for giggles.
Yeah. Didn't get eliminated.
All right, so these are the entrants so far. On the men's side, we got 14 as of today. On Raw, we got Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, the Mysterios, and Austin Theory, and Big E.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Johnny Knoxville decided he wants to enter in at 50 years of age.
Yes.
Sheamus. Well, everybody, and if you don't know, is just doing that to promote the movie that he's doing. Sheamus announced on SmackDown last week. Damian Priest and AJ Styles both announced on Twitter. And then tonight, Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, Sami Zayn, and Kofi Kingston. Xavier Woods will not be at the Rumble. I don't think anybody really cares at that point. You know what I mean?
Okay. I care.
You care about King Woods not being there?
Yes, I care. I care a little bit.
A little bit.
I care a little bit.
It doesn't even matter at this point, man. Don't even bother that. But sir, I know you said to me earlier, you said you had some issues, and you said you felt like that WWE's been taking your money.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate a little bit on that?
You know,
get it off your chest, man. It'll make you feel better. I promise. Get it off your chest, man.
I just want to say that I am in love with NXT. In love. I am in love with NXT until this unification match with this cruiserweight title and this North American title. This is the main reason why you and others like you need to get out of their minds that we're going to get Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, belt for belt, title for title. Get it out your heads, because the cruiserweight title and the North American title was unified at New Year's Eve. Was there a new belt? No. Is there a new name? No, it's still the North American title. When you unify belts, it gets a name. It gets a title. And that champion is acknowledged as the new champion with a new name, with a new belt. But unfortunately, they didn't do that. This is why unification of titles and belt for belt matches should be the last thing that you should ever think about or consider doing. Because of this reason right here. Because if you're going to unify titles, change the name and change the belt. There is no reason. If you were going to do what y'all did to the Cruiserweight Championship and the North American, you should have just left the Cruiserweight Championship alone. Should have just left it alone. Should have left it alone. But you didn't. So you just completely got rid of the whole belt. Excuse me. Combine weight classes. And now anybody that's 210 and higher. You see how I did that? 210 and higher? You know, because you still got to go through.
You're funny. You're
still
funny.
got to go through 205 live. So anyway.
You're funny.
210 and higher can't compete for the North American Championship because it's the North American. You know what? I don't even know what to call it. It's just the Unification North American Championship. Wow. And it still got the same ugly belt. You know what? Hey, Will, let me ask you a question. The NXT Heavyweight Championship, don't it got NXT on it? That's a yes. Hey, Will, the Women's Tag Team Championships, don't it got NXT on it? Hey, Will, the Women's Championship, don't it got NXT on it? Yeah, that got it too. Hey, Will, what about the Men's Championships? They got NXT on it too, don't it? Okay. The only belt that don't have it is the North American Championship, which should have been changed. We could have got the NXT Light Heavyweight Championship. Don't that sound good?
We don't need that, but we don't need that though, man. Look, listen.
Right?
I understand. Look. Hey, come on, man. Get yourself together, man. You okay? You all right? You need some cough medicine, bro? You need the elderberry?
Don't stop the good track. You know what it is. So anyway,
Sir. So why he getting himself together? Look, listen. There's nothing wrong with the championship. If you remember the first go around, even when they unified the two titles with the the big gold belt and the WWE championship, there was nothing wrong with that. They had both belts and they were both carried, but it was known as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship because of both belts. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And so what's going on in NXT is, look, you got the cruiser. Might as well, if you want to call it something, you call it the North American Cruiserweight Championship. Is that nothing wrong? Is there something wrong with that?
Absolutely.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
The belt is still the same.
So?
Which means so.
What's wrong with him being two belts?
Both belts. First of all, if that was the case, let me first answer your first question.
Okay.
Yes, there's something wrong because guess what? That means Carmelo Hayes should have came out with both Cruiserweight and North American title. But that didn't happen. He came out with just his North American Championship as the A. I'm sorry, he is the A champion.
Well, they dismissed it. What's wrong with that? There's no need to have it anymore.
So then you should just change the whole belt and whole name.
Well, maybe they are, man. They just right now they don't have it. They will make sure they have both belts.
What?
Hey, they did not have the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. They didn't have that ready to go for you. They didn't have the Universal title ready, right? Which was a second belt, and everybody was fighting for the same belt, right?
But they had both before they made the Universal Championship. Everybody was carrying around 2 belts, right?
Right.
Okay, so Carmelo Hayes should have been walking around here with 2 belts, right? Or at least could have gave the Cruiserweight Championship to Trent. That's what you should have did. Hey, Trent, you know what, Trent? Hold this for me. That we both got a belt.
That's wrong, man. That's wrong, sir.
This is
It's wrong,
that
man.
Trent title. That's what they could have done.
You wrong for that. You wrong for that, man. But nah, man.
Whoop that Trick Championship. There you go.
Man, look. Here's my thing though, man. Even with that championship, dude, it still don't hold a lot of weight. What I mean by what you have with the NXT championship, of course, it was on Braun Breaker. You know what I'm saying? And Braun Breaker's letting everybody know that he's the freaking NXT champion. You know?
Right.
I don't know. I guess I'm seeing him. He's trying to look more like his dad, Rick, but probably involved more into like Scott. But you got to remember, NXT is a family show.
First of all, he is a combination of the 3.
What you mean? Well, you got 3. There's 2, right?
He's the combination of 3. He's himself, he's Rick, and then he's Scott. That's the combination of the 3.
I don't need to see another Big Papa Pump. I don't need to see
You're
that.
not going to see. He ain't built like Big Papa. Understand? There's only one Big Papa Pump.
Right, and that's all it should be. Right.
But yeah, you ain't gonna get it. But you are going to get everything else. The tattoo is Scott's. The Steiner recliner is Scott's. The pump handle slant is Scott's. Only thing he really does that's his daddy is that's it. Everything else is Scott all day long. The Scott, matter of fact, I'm sorry, he does do the Steiner line. That was Rick's. He does do that.
All right. Look.
But other than that, he don't do anything else.
Do you think he shows up at the Rumble? You think Braun Breaker gets Braun Breaker?
No.
Not to win, just to show up, you know.
No, he's not gonna show up.
Do you think anybody from NXT shows up at the Rumble?
Yes.
Male or female?
Male. I believe we will get Pete Dunne and Tommaso Ciampa at the Royal Rumble.
That'd be good, interesting picks for them to show up at the Rumble. And we mentioned the 14 that's there now. Over on the women's side, of course, we got Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH, who have now broken up. Yes. Dana Brooke, Carmelo, Queen Zelina, and Tamina. Shotzi. Yeah, it's not, but we'll see what happens as it progresses. Shotzi, Natalya, Aaliyah, wow. Naomi, Shayna Baszler, Charlotte Flair, the Bella Twins, and Lita.
You're missing one.
Wait a minute. Hold on, man. I'll get back to that in a second. Michelle McCool, Kelly. Why Summer Rae in this? I don't know, but she's there. And, of course, Mickie James.
Yes.
Why is Summer Rae getting in this?
Summer, look, it's just time.
Got to be the bag. It's got to be the bag. It's got to be the bag. Got to be the bag. Appearance fees. It's got to be the bag, man. Got to be.
So, gotta fix the wrongs. Always keep that in mind.
It's got to be that bag, yo. Got to be.
You got to fix the wrongs. Got to right the wrongs.
Now, this is true. Will jumped in and said he saw Dunne and Ciampa on Main Event this week, and he hopes that Raquel Gonzalez is in the Rumble. Now, yeah, there was talk that those two is making their move to the main roster. Of course, Ciampa has been on the main roster before, but as another character. But Pete Dunne has not. Be interesting to see if those two do come up, you know, at some point. If both go on one show or the two go on vice versa, on different shows. Now I wouldn't mind seeing Pete Dunne on SmackDown and Ciampa on Raw, because that's what the looks are to me anyway. Pete Dunne would align himself with Sheamus and Ridge Holland. You can see that. More like a bar fight faction. You know what I'm saying? Look, you take Sheamus with two proteges. What's wrong with that? It may lead up to Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne scrapping it up to see who might be the best later on, if that were to happen. I'm just spitballing here.
I mean, that does sound nice, but then again, I see Pete Dunne will be the William Regal of now.
Oh no!
Oh yeah,
that's not good. I don't like the sound of that.
That's what that will understand. When somebody leaves, just keep this in mind. You gotta right the wrongs.
That's not right nor wrong. That sounds like garbage.
Okay. Because think about who Pete Dunne. Look at Pete Dunne, and I guarantee you can name two people that either he wrestles like, he reminds you of, or some to that nature. Two people come to mind. Let's see if you get them.
Of what? Of who?
That Pete Dunne reminds you of. Two people.
I couldn't name them. Help me.
You
said Regal. Said Regal was one. Who's the other?
Fit Finlay.
Now I see that more than I see Regal.
Oh my God! Look, see, it's a combination. You gotta right the wrongs.
But see, that's the thing, though. Since you said Fit Finlay, he fits that because he's about that same size as Fit Finlay.
He's a combination of William Regal and Fit Finlay.
What Regal we talking about? We surely can't be talking about the Regal from WWE. We can't be.
We talking about why not? I'm sorry.
Because the Regal of WWE was comedic. It wasn't serious. He wasn't taken seriously in WWE. Remember him coming over from WCW.
But then again, he stopped being that serious once he joined the Kiss My Ass Club. Remember?
What?
You don't remember Regal joining the club?
Yes, I do remember him joining that club, but also at the same time, sir, he wasn't taken seriously. He still was considered a joke by many.
Okay.
But he wasn't that in WCW, unless you're talking about that, which I understand WWE owns. But at the same time, if you're looking for something like that, then okay. But like you said, Fit Finlay probably fits the bill more than he does with William Regal. You got to remember, Regal's tall. Dunne is not. Fit Finlay's not. But they like to fight. And you've seen him on several programs, even on NXT UK. He's a fighter. He's a brawler. That's what Fit Finlay was, because he likes to do that. Why not see him in that realm than you seeing him with Regal?
But
I wouldn't even know anything Regal with him.
But Regal was too. He was a fighter. He was a scrapper. Well, that's what
I missed a lot of his WCW matches, so I can't tell you that. So that's my fault. That's my fault. But from a lot of times I'm seeing in WWE, he looked like more comedic joke than he did a serious brawler or fighter. They made him more of a laughable stock. They needed some entertainment. That's why. Why do you think WWE went to World Wrestling Entertainment? Because they couldn't keep Federation.
Well, I remember a William Regal that used to bring them brass knucks to the table and used to. Good
night. I understand he had to steal victories at times, of course.
Okay, so he was a scrapper. It was scrapper. He used to stretch body limbs, and you don't remember none of William. You don't remember William?
I remember his bouts with Jericho. And speaking of Jericho, there's a rumor going around saying that he can show up in St. Louis at the Rumble. Are we really willing to open the doors for other promotions to get in?
Why not?
Finally?
Why not? Why not? You know, it's Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is he kind of like The Rock, you know, in Austin. He got that, you know, I do what I want. If you allow me to do what I want, right? Yeah, come on in, Chris Jericho. Do what you want. Because if Stone Cold ever say, hey, I'm getting back in the ring, Vince gonna be like, shit, hold on, let me release two more. Let me release.
Boy,
I gotta release half of
Hey man, I got people on here, man. You gotta chill just a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to top that with this. Sir, Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin did not go to another promotion like Chris Jericho did.
Okay.
So Rock and Austin can have that type of deal. Jericho went to an entirely another promotion to say that I was done with that organization, meaning WWE. When you say that you were done with that and you say it publicly, what would make you think that he should be able to come back in?
Because he's
Jericho?
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
It works that way.
Same could be said for Mickie James, because Mickie James did put WWE on blast with that trash bag.
And guess what? She's in the Royal Rumble.
I wonder what the settlement was like, how that contract came about, how they said we're going to allow you to be into the Rumble. Now, do you see future invasions from promotions? Because there's another rumor going around that AEW's Tony Khan was talking with WWE John Laurinaitis.
Oh wow.
You don't seem too thrilled with that, sir.
Let me get a mop. I'm starting mopping from.
I mean, at some point, do you think that anybody's going to they're going to do a super card type deal?
No.
Why not?
Because
is that the doorbell? I'm just kidding.
It's garbage.
Why having a super card being garbage?
Because Vince McMahon doesn't do business with trash. Points.
Consider that he's been doing trash himself.
Vince McMahon don't. If wrestlers are not ready to perform, they're not getting on TV. That's just how that goes.
Wait a minute. What does that even mean?
What you mean? What that means? If you can't perform, you're not on TV.
They're performing though.
Not on
Are they
TV.
not?
So
what you mean they're not performing? Come on, man. What are you talking about?
So there's stars that's on 205 Live. We don't see them, right?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You see them. You see them. If you choose, you can go to Peacock right now. But guess what that is? A way of seeing them, correct?
That is.
Do you really want me to break this down to you? Do you really want me to do that?
But guess what?
You want me to break it down?
Are they on the main roster? No. Are they on NXT? No. Why?
Hold on. Pause. Time out. You calling NXT the main roster now? Is that what you saying?
NXT is the main roster. What you mean? It's been that way.
Oh, because there have been Raw and SmackDown superstars going over to NXT, giving them their shine, and now they considered main roster guys. You really considering Braun Breaker a main roster guy? You're really considering Pete Dunne a main roster guy? You're really considering Walter a main roster guy when they choose to be on that show?
What? Yes, exactly. Walter by himself proves my point.
Said Walter by himself proves your point.
Walter by himself proves my point.
So
Whenever they say you've done, matter of fact, sir, you've
network
done
television.
Sir,
Network television makes you a
done,
main roster guy. Is that what you're saying?
you, sir, have done so much in our wrestling business. We want you behind the scenes, and we want you directing everything going forward. Okay, said Walter.
So you considering, so your thought is network television gets you the main roster, right? If you get on cable network television,
you made it.
you made the main roster.
You made it.
But if you get on Peacock, you're next to nothing, right?
Hey, you're
So wait a minute. If that's the case, then why Pete Dunne and Tommaso Ciampa were featured on WWE Network on Peacock? See, we giving them this free promotion.
uh-huh.
Featured them on there instead of putting them on the main roster.
Because they are the shadows that you see when they put up. They're the shadow people that you see when it says 30 members of the Royal Rumble. Those are the missing people.
Okay.
Because those are supposed to be the surprises.
Let's see the comments. Will says Sheamus, Holland, Dunn versus Roman and the Usos sound like a good 6-man tag. It'd be more. It had to be more of a fight than it would be an actual match. Yes, Ring of Honor is doing an invasion right now with Impact. That is correct. Lamont jumping in with Chris Jericho is this generation's GOAT. No. Nah. I gotta disagree. And Walter has beaten Cesaro twice in those live shows that was said on NXT UK yesterday.
Bam! Ba, 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 ba.
Live shows don't count when you're not.
Hey,
wait a minute.
wait a minute.
So wait, hold on. Is NXT UK considered main roster?
Yeah.
I'm getting off. I'm getting out of here, man. I'm getting out of here, dude.
All those guys.
Now you're talking absolutely crazy.
Roster. Every last
All
one
you
of
guys, all you guys, you're talking crazy now, man. You're talking absolutely crazy. You're talking absolutely crazy, man.
Well, why not? Because guess what? When they're done over there in UK, they come right over to NXT. Just like Walter.
See, Lamont says the man has evolved and stayed relevant for 25 years. Talking about Chris Jericho.
He is talking about Chris Jericho, which again I have.
I was going to say longer than that.
Yeah.
You think he's this generation's GOAT?
I think Chris Jericho has made it to the stature of The Rock.
The Mount Rushmore statue, you thinking? The Mount Rushmore wrestling?
The Mount Rushmore.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because we've had this conversation before and things will change in due time. So you're going to, because I said myself, the four, and I may have said something different, but I'm going to say this now, was Rock, Undertaker, Hogan, and Flair.
That is exactly what you said.
That's exactly what I said, right? Okay.
Right.
Out of my four, could you remove somebody off of there and put in Jericho?
Yes. Immediately.
Who are you removing? All right, I have a feeling I know. Go ahead.
Hogan got to go.
I knew it. I knew you was gonna say him. I knew you was gonna say Hogan. No, how can you? You can't remove. You can't remove a guy. And I understand. Look, and I understand Superstar Billy Graham's hatred for Hulk Hogan. I understand, man. Look, because he pretty much took everything. He literally took everything from Billy Graham, Superstar Billy Graham, and took over. But you also, when you looking at that type of thing, when you're looking at that, that's an evolution, man. You know, Flair being the long reigning champion. I know a lot of people would rather put Bruno Sammartino, but we didn't really get the chance to see him battle. Right? We did get a chance to see Flair a lot, even though later in his age. And Flair was like he was the box office draw. Hogan, the box office draw. Rock, the box office draw. Undertaker was that guy, 30 years in the game, like he could match up with almost anybody.
Right.
That's why I can't put Jericho in this mix.
Unfortunately, sir, Jericho is in that mix, and I would take Hogan off the mix.
The reason why you're going to put Jericho in it is because of what? Because he won the Undisputed Championship?
I mean, not just that. Chris Jericho has crossed over the play. The only thing Chris Jericho hasn't done is a movie. He hasn't done a movie.
He don't have time because he got a band.
Exactly.
So wait a minute. Because he's a musician, that's why you elevate him into the top four. See, this cough that you got is letting everybody know that you're making the wrong choice here, brother. So Lamont says that he's just outside of Mount Rushmore, and he said he would remove Undertaker. You got to be out of your mind.
Whoa! Hey! Whoa!
You got to be out of your mind.
Whoa!
Remove Undertaker.
Whoa!
Not for no Jericho.
Now I was on your bandwagon. I was with you for a second.
Yeah, Jericho's been in some movies. I think Jericho has been in some movies. We're gonna check it out real quick while we. But yeah, go ahead, because it's like you got something to say about that.
I was on your side. I was with you. I was willing to replace Hogan. You know, because I'm tired. I'm tired of all of that. Look, I was gonna replace Hogan. But I'm not finna tell. No, he is not as big as Undertaker. Matter of fact, half of them ain't as big. Flair is the only one that's bigger than Undertaker. Sorry. Flair is the only one. Other than that, Undertaker is number 2 on this Mount Rushmore of mine. It's Flair. Matter of fact, none of the people that he named is on my Rushmore. None of them. Ric Flair, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. See, my list is a little different. And see, I didn't name one. Because, see, there's one that I can put on there that a lot of people ain't ready to put on there, but I'm going to put him up there because he is the GOAT of right now. He is the head of the table. He is my tribal chief. He is Roman Reigns. I'm not even going to put The Rock on my list. I'm going to put Roman Reigns on my list. So you see, my list is a little different.
Say the list again.
Ric Flair.
Flair.
The Undertaker. Shawn Michaels. Bret the Hitman Hart.
You can only do 4. Come on, sir. This is a Mount Rushmore, and only 4 people are featured. So that's 4
and
you
that's
just
why
gave.
I said and you ain't listening. If I had a 5th, I said if I had a 5th, I would put my tribal chief, my head of the table, Roman Reigns. Do it like Paul.
Interesting. He does have a nice resume.
Very nice resume.
He does have a very nice resume. WWE champ 3 times, Universal Championship twice, currently in one. He was an Intercontinental Champion, a U.S. champ, a tag team champ. He was the 28th Triple Crown champ, 9th Grand Slam champ, won the Rumble, won the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. So yeah, not bad. Not a bad resume so far. And what's funny is that he's only been wrestling 12 years, and he's been in WWE for what? Oh, he's been in this since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad for a guy that's been getting major status for the last 10 years.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
Right. So you got Roman as your alternate in case somebody fall off.
Man, hey, just saying.
Look,
What,
I like Roman, man, but the thing is, he didn't transcend wrestling. If you haven't seen it lately, or since we're bringing this up, Roman has acted like The Rock in his introductions.
Right. It works. What? Listen, look. Yes. Why? Because what did I tell you last week? And I told you to think about. What if, man? What if The Rock would have never been traded to Raw, and he'd have stayed on SmackDown as SmackDown's champion forever? Period. No questions asked. How things would have turned out? I think things would have been a little different. I think we would have got what we getting right now. That's the reason why we're not going to unify these titles. Get it out your head. Because The Rock wouldn't have done it. If The Rock would have been able to stay on SmackDown and let it be his show, we would have got this right here. Roman Reigns.
You do realize that Rock is a McMahon guy, right? It's Vince's guy, right?
We know that.
I'm going to do whatever Vince asks me to do.
Exactly.
So that means he wasn't going to get that opportunity to stay on his show, as you speak of. He was not going to get that opportunity. Vince was going to move him no matter what.
Okay.
So that's what I'm like. And then let's see. Lamont jumps in, said Taker has not changed the game like a Flair, Stone Cold, or The Rock. And he said Chris Jericho has been in several movies. They ain't been good ones.
Sir,
they surely ain't been good ones.
Wait a minute.
Hey, but if I recall, let me start first. I know you got something you got to say about that.
Good God.
Taker has multiple finishers, right?
Yes.
Taker has 30 years under his belt.
Yes.
And he said that. And he also said the Undertaker is just reliable. Just reliable.
Just reliable. Wow.
They did the streak for a reason. They did the streak for a reason.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for the fact that he was too injured and wasn't in enough shape at WrestleMania 30, that streak would have continued. But since they found out that he was unable to, right, because he didn't want to, that was forced.
Understand? That was like the Montreal screw job. That's what that really was. Okay? Just FYI. Because understand that every single person in that audience, when Brock Lesnar F5'd him 4, 5, 6, 7 times and got the 3 count, everybody, you could have started a riot in that building. Everybody. Matter of fact, I believe everybody burned down half of the of the parking lot after that. Because a lot of people weren't happy, sir. That wasn't supposed to happen. That wasn't part of the plan. So, just like Brett giving up the title to Shawn Michaels, that wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for rephrasing. He says Undertaker is an excellent wrestler, definitely top 5, but I think it's mostly due to reliability and the fact that he lived the gimmick until the very end. And that's another thing. Here's the thing: when he changed his gimmick, it did not hurt him.
Exactly.
You know, people when they change their gimmicks, it can hurt. It can hurt them, hurt their stock or whatnot. Like Cena had to remain the same after 2005.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped the rap act a few years later, and then he's just been like, I'll just do the shirts.
Yep.
Never give up. Hustle, loyalty, respect.
Yep.
You know. And that's what. And if I'm not mistaken, there was only 2 gimmicks that Undertaker had. There was the Dead Man, and then there was the American Badass. So you had those 2.
There was
right?
3. There was
And
3.
whenever he used them, they still got a good reception, no matter if he was a heel or a face. It wasn't about reliability; it was about mainstream. People loved Undertaker.
He wasn't. He was the Big Red Devil. So there's 3.
I thought Kane was the Big Red Machine.
No, Big Red Devil. He was the Big Red Devil before he was American Badass.
I only remember 2, but man, okay.
Man, yo.
Because they was the 2 biggest ones. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but he was before he became American Badass. He was the Big Red Devil, or some devil,
or Big
whatever.
Evil.
Some whatever. It was some with the devil.
Big Evil
remember
is what he was.
We had the devil thing on the thing. Yeah. Whatever.
That's right. The big evil. You know, when he turned heel and whatnot, and he was going up beating anybody and everybody at any given moment, didn't care.
I know it. Look. At the devil and all that. But anyway, still had the bandana and the shades, and yeah.
He did look like that guy you didn't want to mess with in his yard, mess with his stuff. He said, hey, mister, get out of my yard that quick, and it's over. Just like that. But and also a lot of people will remove Undertaker like for Cena because of what Cena had transcended in the era of wrestling. I'm telling you, man, look, if you look at it, look. A lot of people you want to say him and Cena was on that same, and that's a Vince thing. That's a Vince thing, though. Ruthless Aggression was made for John Cena. Was it not?
Yeah.
It was made for John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't think when he won the championship against Bradshaw that a change was coming? You didn't see that. And mind you, sir, Edge, guys like Edge, who've been there longer, Triple H.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, dog. Before, I would put the Miz on my list.
And that will wrap this show up tonight.
See, my list is a little different.
That will wrap the show up tonight. You got really nutty and really crazy. How could you even fix your mouth to throw the Miz?
Yes.
How can you even fix your mouth to say that?
Because the Miz is the only one that came from a reality TV show and became champion.
You talking about to come from nothing to do something?
Exactly.
I guess CM Punk came from nothing too then, right?
Nobody cares about CM Punk.
No. You can't sit there and say
Miz. I'm sorry, he's AEW, so he don't go on the WWE. He don't go on the Mount Rushmore of WWE.
Because the Miz shouldn't.
The Miz,
that means you just straight, and I think you're doing this on purpose. You straight disrespected the history of pro wrestling. No. You put the Miz over Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Flair, Hogan. The Miz has not had the type of career. He's had success, but he has not had the type of career those others have.
I will put the Miz before I put Hogan.
All right. Well, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in this evening.
All right, brother.
Because the more he's gonna get crazy, and y'all getting real nutty talking about the Miz is top 10, man. You got to be out your minds, man. Like y'all are nuts, like straight up. All right, about to wrap things up.
Wait, am I the only one? Wait. Was there somebody else that agreed?
They said the Miz was top 10. He didn't say
okay.
no Mount Rushmore. He said the Miz is the only 2-time Grand Slam champion.
Period.
So you gonna never mind, sir.
Period.
Anything you got to say? If you say anything crazy, you get muted, and I will remove you.
I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the Alpha Academy. Unfortunately, they beat Randy Orton and
Riddle.
Oh man, and Riddle, only to win it back in St. Louis. How you do it? That is how you do it. That is how you do it. Hey, Will, we're gonna be right there when Randy Orton and Riddle win these titles back. It's gonna be great. Right there, or he gets RKO.
Oh God!
So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. As always, we do this for you. Without you guys and the love that you show us, when we do this for you, it's very appreciated. We thank you so much. Arlington, as you always know, you are my tag team partner, my brother, my friend. I could not and would not do this with anyone else because it just wouldn't be the same. That's why sometimes them alligator tears begin to fall. And you've heard when they start to fall, you know what it sounds like. So
you're not gonna do this right now. But first, before I do that, I do want to.
It's real.
Let me let you finish.
Always make sure if you in the city of St. Louis and you go to Cafe Piazza, make sure you get you a Bianca Belair. There you go. Now I'm done.
Thanks, Lamont. We are here every Friday night. We do this, and thank you for hopping in and joining in on the conversation. And I miss my guy Richard, so I miss my guy Richard tonight. It's all good. He said he had something for me, but I guess I'm about to wrap this show up. I'm not going to go any longer than what I am right now, but I do want to acknowledge the family of Shad Gaspard. A few days ago, it would have been his 41st birthday. He had passed away 2 years ago, back in 2020, saving his son's life. And I think it was May 17th. He had disappeared while swimming, and it would have been his 40th birthday. 41st. Get it right. This is 2022, not 2021 anymore. It would have been his 41st birthday, and I wanted to acknowledge him on this show. And I know a lot of us remember him from his time in WWE with Crime Time. You know, a lot of people didn't feel Crime Time too much because of the stereotypes that it brought to the table, but he was a good enough wrestler where he got a chance to showcase his talents in WWE with him and JTG. So I want to definitely put that out there. Thanks to everyone that tuned in on the show. Yes, folks, if you're in St. Louis, go try out Cafe Piazza today at 1900 Arsenal Street at the corner of Arsenal and Limp. Go ahead and get your hands on the Bianca. Every Tuesday, they breaking it down with the Toasted Rab Tuesdays. If you would like to be a sponsor of the show, you can hit up NTZ Pro Wrestling. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and on our YouTube channel on In the Zone Network. And let's see what we can do about having a little bit of fun and getting your business out there. You can do that with all our programs on In the Zone Network. Excuse me. You make sure that you, if you want to advertise with us, you go to In the Zone Network. That's NTHEZONE Network at gmail.com. We'll put your business out there and we can have some little fun while we do that too. Make a little money while you're at it. Hopefully we can do that for you. All right. I want to thank Mr. POP once again. Thank you, sir. my right hand man, my partner in crime when we do this show every week. And we'll catch you next time for another edition of the show on next Friday night. All right. So long for now, y'all. Y'all take care.